Good morning. Let's see if that's working. And good morning, McLovin. How are you doing? This might be short, McLovin. It might be short. There's just, impromptu and early here in the Philippines and middle of Saturday on the East Coast. Who knows? We'll have to kind of wait and see, I guess. I got a video coming out after this. We got to try and drop in on Ugly Tourist, his live stream. Then we got to kind of drop in on Philly in the Philippines live stream. So one step at a time, I guess. We figure them all out. Let's see if anybody actually drops in. We can talk about whatever it is. We can talk about the smart things. We can talk about the idiots. Yeah, that's it, McLovin. You're all that counts. Isn't that the truth? You're so special. Excuse me. I went to bed early last night. Arlen and Cecile, one of Arlen's, so Chuck and Cecile, another couple that live down the road from us here. Cecile had two friends from Manila visiting, two of her girlfriends from Manila, and they decided to go to Sky something or another over in San Fernando, where they wanted to ride. It's kind of like a little amusement park. They've got a couple big rides and a couple small rides and stuff like that. And, but they also have a big food thing. And so, they wanted to go eat street food last night and, go ride the rides, and of which all four of them threw up. But they went, but I went to bed. I went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. Arlene actually got back about 9:30. She was gone. She left here about 3:30. So I'm wide awake early this morning. Yeah, McLovin, special, and not in a short bus kind of way. No, it's not the short bus. It's not the short bus. It's special because it's your opinions that count. The people that are here, the people that are watching, the people that have questions, the dumbass answers we give, who knows? James Gilbert made it in. Good morning. Yeah, James, it is early. What are you doing up so early? Oh my gosh, Ozzy 411. Hey, from Miami. Asia's my favorite spot. Yeah, ours too. That's why I retired here. It certainly is. We love the Philippines. We love Thailand. It's great. We go to Thailand a couple times a year. We live here full time in the Philippines. But thank you for dropping in, Ozzy. We certainly appreciate it. We've never seen you before, or I don't remember seeing you. But then again, at my age, sometimes memory's not the greatest thing in the world. That's for sure. So, but yeah, ended up, oh my God, Slick Rick. Man, you're here in the middle of your day. What is it, about 3:30, 2:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30? Yeah, about 2:30 your time in the afternoon? Oh, wow. McLevin, wait till I do my first month budget video. Think you received hate comments? It's funny. I don't know whether you should call it a budget video or an expense video. Think about that. And the reason I say it is simply because everybody, you don't want to disclose to people how much money you've got coming in, But what everybody really needs to see, and what's more interesting, is what you spent that money on. What did it cost you? So, that ought to be interesting. Hector Gupta, 230 in Brea, California. Oh, Brea. I love that. Let's see here. I've been in your podcast before. I just liked the topic. Oh, gee, Ozzy, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Well, welcome back. That's for sure. Bruce Cook, Ace Bashircool is visiting his daughter in Davao. If I marry him, then Ace can be my father-in-law. Imagine that. Well, Bruce, I think you're going to have a problem with that because if I'm not mistaken, Ace's daughter is something, I don't know. I think she's under 13, to be honest with you. I think, in fact, for some reason, I want to think she's probably around 12, but that's a good thing. A man visiting his daughter, staying in his child's life. What more could you ask for? I mean, you've got to respect that. You really and truly do. Slick Rick, it's 2:30, just watching college football. Which game you watching? Anybody any good? Not that it matters. Neither one of my, man, I got to tell you. I went to undergraduate school at Chapel Hill, and it's a sad, sad thing. I mean, Belichick and oh my God, I can't even begin to tell you. Heath McDaniel, good morning, 535 from Southeast Tennessee. I bet it's beautiful right now in Southeast Tennessee. I bet this is such a beautiful time, October. Oh, the leaves are changing. It's a gorgeous place. Slick Rick, in the afternoon. Yeah, indeed. Bruce says, forget that. Oh, my goodness. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, his daughter is not of marrying age. And I think Ace might be a pretty protective guy. I really and truly do. I mean, he has a pretty active interest, from what I understand, in his U.S. stateside kids. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. I defeated, hold on. Mike, Ace's daughter is, in fact, she is 12 years old. Wow. Joe Go Wonder One, I defeated the ugly tourist. That's funny as crap. Now, we all know that's not the real Joe Go Wonder, but that was funny yesterday. And I'm still going with the fact that I think it's McLovin. I think it is, but I could very well be wrong. That's for sure. Yeah. You know what? I saw Joe Go Wonder did a video. I was cruising around. I've been up since 2:30 this morning. He did a video this morning, or the video I saw this morning was him going and getting the first oil change on his scooter. And he was like already getting thousands of views. He had a couple thousand views or something like that. I mean, it was like, my God, he killing poor ugly. The game has passed up Belichick, unfortunately. Yeah, Rick, you're something passed him up. That's for sure. Ole Miss, Georgia right now, then Alabama and Tennessee Vols. What do you think about Alabama and Tennessee, Heath? You think Alabama's going to win that? Hector says it's no longer Dodger mania as it's become routine. It's only news if they lose. Yeah. What was the guy? Is Oshanti the pitcher that just set a new record for, wasn't it for the Dodgers? I don't follow, um, um, I don't follow baseball, so but I did remember looking at the headlines. Smile and be happy. Bill Belichick equals Joe Biden on cognitive. You know what? He may be cognitively declining, but his taste in women visually is pretty high up there. I mean, you got to admit, his little recent squeeze is pretty hot. All right. Yeah, Rick says so far that's a good game. Well, he has a sense of humor with that haircut. He's got something. Yeah. That's for sure. He says, yeah, leaves and everything are starting to change. Really good right now. Yeah, I bet it is. That nice cool breeze, but it's not cold. That smell from the I call it the woods, that's what I grew up calling it. But all of the just good old deal. Gump's oil change video has 6.3 thousand views, 6,300 views. Yeah. Well, I've already voiced my opinion on how that happens, but I think what happens, I'm just going to be honest with you. You know something? People are making a business out of YouTube. And when you make a business, you invest in it. And when you invest in it, then that means you spend money advertising. And that's what these guys are doing. Now, I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not. It's awfully, I think he's nailing the crap out of YouTube promotions personally. But I could totally be wrong. Totally. But you know what, McLovin? When the Ugly Tourist does his live stream this morning, all right, which I think he's going to do at 7:30, we need to make sure he's updated as to what Gump's last video has been. He is so worried about that, and it's kind of like such nonsense. I understand. Don't get me wrong, I really do, but. It is what it is. He says, think Alabama will win that with that. We haven't beat them at home since 2003. Neat. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Jose Rodriguez, welcome in there, Jose. You're at work. Well, I'm sorry about that, but we don't usually do these this time. We'll be back on we'll be doing our regular live streams as well. But don't get in trouble at work watching us, because we certainly aren't worth it. James says, Mike, it's been raining here all night. When I walked outside this morning, there was a foot-long worm. Are you sure it wasn't a small snake? My God. Wow, a foot-long worm. But Jose, don't be getting in trouble. It just started drizzling here in Angeles. So about a half an hour ago, 45 minutes. So I don't know whether the rain's coming, whether we're catching the tail end of it. Either one. Who knows? BT and Betty. Good morning, BT. How is that? Yeah, the amusement park, Sky Ranch. Yeah, that's the name of it, Sky Ranch. They rode this ride. For those of you that know amusement parks, it's called the Viking, the Super Viking, and it goes. It's like a boat, and it swings back and forth. All four of them got sick, either during or after. All four of them did, according to Arlen. I didn't talk to her too much last night. I was already half asleep when she got home. Slick Rick says, if I had a girlfriend like Belichick, I wouldn't pay attention to my job either. Yeah. I mean, he can be as demented or cognitively declining as you want to. I guarantee you, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad thing, because it's kind of like every night he gets to open a new package. Wouldn't that be astounding? BT and Betty, howdy, howdy. Go Big Orange. He says, I'm on 20 acres of wood, so I'm enjoying the winters. Yeah, you've got to love that. You really and truly do. That is kind of like God's country out there. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, I don't know a whole lot else I can really say about it. Heath McDaniel, I'm on 20 acres of woods. Yeah, there we go. Chippy Whiska, up early. Dogs barking. No, went to bed early. Got up early. It was just the way life is. I mean, I'm up always between like 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning here. We go to bed relatively early, but like I said, Arlen was out with the girls last night. They went to Sky Ranch to ride the amusement rides and eat street food. And so I was a lazy bum. I had all kinds of things I was gonna do all afternoon, and I didn't do anything. I'll be honest with you. I sat in my recliner. I answered emails on my phone very slowly as I watched old reruns of Star Trek. So, Star Trek Enterprise, the one with Picard. I've seen them all, but it's been so long, and I didn't really want to watch anything new on Netflix without Arlen. Says I just have to watch it again. And so I said, no, let me see what's around. That, and I watched, I've got a beef with our security guards. So across the street from Candy Palace, there is a parking lot, and that's our parking lot. We have underground parking, all right, which is pretty limited. It's only about 15 spaces down there. And then across the street, we have a parking lot. And everybody wants to use that parking lot because street parking is limited. There's 3 other hotel resorts, whatever you want to call them, condos. There's Elysia, something else, and Prime Asia. And people want to park. Well, last night, I could see people parking that were not here. They were actually carrying their bags from that parking lot to the other hotels. So I'm going to have to tell management that, security is going to have to up their game. That they, because Candy opened a new tower 2 weeks ago, our night security guys are different. I think our night security may have gotten or been transferred over there, and now we've got new ones, and they're going to have to do a little bit better job. That's for sure. McLovin, maybe a meltdown video is what he needs. I don't know. I think it's all a game for him, just like everybody else. Yeah, Mike, you're talking about Shohei Ohtani. I think that's how you would say it, maybe, for the Dodgers. Yeah. Jose, I've actually got my stepdaughter's first car put together. It's like my own shop. I'm on my time. Oh, nice. Well, that is really nice of you to take a work on her car and everything. That's for sure. I think a lot of people may not understand. I have a lot of friends with stepchildren, and they don't even think of them as stepchildren. They think of them as their own. BT and Betty, I cannot ride the Viking, makes me puke too. Yeah, I don't think I would like it. The rain's coming our way, James says. Yeah, I guess it is. It started, like I said, probably about 45 minutes ago. Is that the amusement park near New Point Mall? I'm not sure where New Point Mall is, but it's the big mall. Yeah, it's the amusement park, sort of like adjacent to the big SM Mall there in San Fernando. Scott and Isaiah's world. Hey, Scott and Isaiah, it's nice to see you. Wow, you guys are up and around. Everybody is. Scott, I tried to say hi to you guys yesterday during Philippine Annex live stream. I can't comment. I mean, I comment in there. Nobody sees them. So somehow or another, everything I do in there is blocked. I don't know why, software issue, something, who knows. But now that you're here, hi, it's good to see you. All right, you guys should check out Scott and Azia's channel. It's a good channel. Saying ha. Heath says 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. I go to bed. I'm up between 2 and 4:30. Sleep insomnia sucks. Yeah, I've been that way all my life. And when I say all my life, I've been that way all of my working life. I think because I was on call the first 25 years of work, that my body just did that way. Scott says 67 days and I will be back to Candy Palace. Well, let me know when you're here. You guys need to let us know. At least we can have dinner or breakfast or coffee or something. 67 days. Will you be here for New Year's, Scott? Chippy says the Jays totally blew it last night. Got tickets for tomorrow. Could be game over. A Ranger for collectors. Hey, Ranger, how you doing, Ernst? It's good to see you. I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope you got my email. I replied to you and sent you some information. I don't know anybody offhand that's got a solution for what you're looking for, but it is what it is. Big Dave is here. What are you doing up at 5:53 in the morning, Dave? Oh my God, top of the morning to you, Dave. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. A Ranger for collectors is 28 days and counting. Yeah, I look forward to you getting back. I want to hear how things went and everything else. And then what you're up to. Scott says, no, I'll be on Panay Island on New Year's Eve. Well, I'm sure you'll be having a great time. And that's kind of what counts, isn't it? So let's see. Ranger says, yes, sir, all good. So what else is going on? Well, you got Ugly Tourist is having a emotional meltdown over Jogo Wonder. He can't understand how he's doing so well. That's fine. All right. Let's see here. What else is going on in the YouTube world? We've got all of that stuff going on, but the world events are crazy. They are going crazy. In fact, Paul Rogers says, hey, Mike, King's protests going on. No decent music, not like the 60s with our decent tubes. Just ain't worth watching. There's battle lines being nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Yeah. You know what? I was reading a big article on how these King's protests are getting funded. And so, I don't know. I think America is having some big problems, and I think it's going to get much worse. Mike, what's the difference between riding the Viking at the amusement park as opposed to the Viking on Ridge Street? Well, the biggest difference, Rick, is you don't need a condom to ride the Viking at the amusement park. Dave says, coffee, breakfast, shower, then headed to the gym. Physical fitness never ends. No, it doesn't. Man, you guys should see Dave. For those of you that don't know it, Dave he's a pretty big guy. Let's just put it to you like that. He's a big guy. McLovin, you have everything ready for Halloween. No, we're not going to do Halloween this year like we usually do, or like we started. We were the people that actually started doing the candy handouts and everything to the kids on Halloween on Walking Street. Our first year, we went through a couple of small bags of candy. The second year, we went through about 20 bags. The third year, it just got more and more and more. In fact, I think last year we spent a little over $300 on candy alone for the kids on Walking Street. But we don't have a suitable location. And unless somebody comes up with a suitable location, then we're just not going to do it. And the reason is simple. We've got to be, the crowds have gotten so big and the number of kids have gotten so big that you can't keep them off of you. And security is an issue. It really is. Ozzy says that King protest is just hype from the media. Crime is down. Stock market's really good. Finally, Americans making money. Yeah, you know what? I'm interested to see what the impact of the shutdown, but we'll see. McLovin says, oh no, the vendors are going to be upset not being able to resell. Yeah. And that's not unusual. We usually see our candy for sale on Walking Street for a couple of weeks after Halloween, to be honest with you. But there are lots of others that enjoy doing it now as well. There'll be a group of folks up there on masquerades on the second floor. There'll be a couple of different groups. So that's fine. It's good. The kids are going to get candy, and that's all there is to it. They won't get as much, but they're going to get candy. So, I mean, that's all that matters. And you know what? We might take candy down to Walking Street and just give it to the bar staff, of which they'll only give out about half of it. Give it to the bar staff at one of the bars to throw to the kids. He says, no trick or treat at my house. I'm too out in the country. Kids would be lazy to walk up my drive. You know, that's funny. You said that, Heath. That's actually what my video, after this live stream at 7:15 a.m. my time, all right, I've got a live stream, not a live stream. I've got a video that's coming out talking about lazy, talking about what it means and how lazy people are not going to be able to, the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, they're all the same. If you're lazy, they are not going to be paradise. It's going to be a nightmare. It really is. Things have radically changed. And in addition to that, the demographics have changed. I see, and James would be interesting to get him to chime in on this. But James, do you see, the differences between how active and how engaged and their attitudes between the 40-somethings, 50-somethings, 60-something, 70-something-year-old expats? Jose says, I have to disagree. Just the market is doing good doesn't mean the normal working Americans are doing well. It's delusional market. If you're investing in the market, that's a different story. Yeah, and I think Jose brings up a reasonable point. I think that for some people, life is good, and for others, it's still a struggle. And it's going to continue to be a struggle. There's a lot of credit card debt out there. There's a lot of bad loans out there. I mean, they're talking about some significantly large number of rural banks are in trouble. Chippy says, yeah, some of those monthly EDFs are really paying well. Stock market's strong. It's strong to an extent. I mean, it's the highest or near the highest it's ever been, but everything that goes up comes down at some point. So at some point, it's not going to be so good. But if you know how to time it, if you know how to ride it, you know what you're doing, great. Make money while you can. There's no way around that. Silver and gold prices are going up. Yeah, they are. They are. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Wow. At 6 o'clock in the morning, we have 32 people in the room. That is, I didn't expect to get 10, to be honest with you. Say, Mike, I've got to get ready to step out. I'll catch you later on your next live or video. Take care, everyone. Take care, Slick. Be careful out there. Go ahead, get done what you need to get done, and have a great time. Dave, personally, I'm glad that you and Arlen aren't doing Halloween thing this year. I've watched the last couple of candy getaways, and the crowds have gotten, which is picked. Yeah, and that's the problem, though, Dave. You're absolutely correct. The kids, I don't know whether they're a distraction that the pickpockets and the thieves put up, or if it's just kids. But either way, trying to keep an eye on your stuff when they're mobbing you is not easy. It certainly just isn't easy. Smile and be happy. Markets rise because inflation is rising. All right. Hector, time in the market beats timing the market. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We have our money set aside in the market a specific way, and we will ride it. And that's it. McLovin, the president of the Angeles City Vloggers Association, always draws a crowd. I guess that would have to be Ace or Philly or Chubbs. Certainly it's not us. Okay? Vlogging live from Black Canyon City, home of one of the restaurants that makes some of the best pies. I can't remember the name of the restaurant up there with the pies. My daughter and I used to go up there at least once a month. We used to drive up there. And then we used to four-wheel it up the back way, all the way through there and everything. That's a great area. It really is. So Vlogging Life is back in Arizona. That's good. I know he misses the Philippines already, I'm sure. So what else is going on? You've got the King's protest, no King's protest. You've got all of these people causing mayhem. I mean, I can't get over the amount of violence that we're seeing. And the other side of this is that if you want to know how it's going to turn out, just look at the UK right now. That's what you're going to see transpiring. The lawsuits, the political lawsuits, and everything else is just horror story. It's an absolute horror story. Did you see where Trump and folks, don't get me wrong, I'm neither for nor against. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. All right. Did you see where Trump pardoned, what was his name, Santos or something? I can't understand that. The guy from New York that for embezzling and lying and everything that goes along with that. I can't believe he did that. Vlogging life, Rock Springs Pie. Yeah, Rock Springs. There you go. So, James says, my point of view is it doesn't matter to me. What the market is doing, I quit that game 4 years ago. I can't blame you, James. That's for sure. I really and truly cannot. So what else is going on in your neck of the woods? Everybody else's neck of the woods. Ace is down in Davao. Philly had an earthquake last night. I talked to him. There was an earthquake not far from Philly's place and from our house in Mindanao. But I got a little perturbed last night, okay? So at our home in Mindanao, we have CCTV. And in our home, all right, is Arlene's father and Arlene's adopted sister. And Arlene's adopted sister, she's like, I don't want to know, 13, 14 years old. So Arlene brought down her laptop and said, hey, you can use this, all right? And she uses it in the master bedroom. We want her to keep it in the master bedroom. Now, we have a CCTV in that master bedroom. I blew a gasket last night. After when that earthquake alert came out, I flipped onto the internet, went to our CCTV cameras. The balcony camera was on. The dirty kitchen camera was on. The upstairs living room was on. The downstairs living room was on. All right? The kitchen, everything except our bedroom. Our bedroom camera was off. And that was like, whoa, no. I am not going to have a teenage girl unsupervised on a laptop in our house. Not going to happen. All right. This is the Philippines and they are prime targets. So kind of blew my little wig last night on that. And I said, that's it. Tell her no low. 1 week probation. McLevin says, I just want the government to give amnesty to big butt Latinas. McLovin, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's how you really feel. He says, never done the market or bonds, so I wouldn't have a clue. Well, it's okay. It's fine. You know, everybody has their gig. That's all. Flogging life. Santos was no good. Can't believe it either. How would advisors even I don't know. Why are you pardoning a corrupt politician. Why? Justin Trudeau is dating Katy Perry. Yeah, he is. He is. And there's a lot of photos of it. There's a lot of articles about it. And didn't he just break up with his wife? I think it was not that long ago. But who knows? I don't know. Chippy's from Canada, so he knows more of that kind of gossip than we do. Chippy says stock market is good, by the way, 4 a.m. until 8:30 a.m. Yeah. So you're trading, you're doing futures between 4 and 8, or that's just because it's not moving between 4 and 8 because the market's not open. I don't know. Yeah, I can't believe, and yet people talk about now, and I did look that up. Apparently, there's the age gap between Trudeau and Katy Perry is something like 10 to 12 years. It's really not that much. I don't know. Somebody can look it up. Just Google the age gap between the two of them. But it's not one of those 25, 30-year age gaps. And I don't know how age gap relationships are defined in Canada. And, Trudeau is Canadian. Is Katy Perry's American, isn't she? I don't think she's Canadian. I don't know. But Chippy might know more about that gossip than we do. So let's see here. What else is going on? Yeah, James, it's raining out there now. That's for sure. Chippy says, no pre-market PRs. You can still trade with certain accounts. Yeah. And you know what, Chippy? I don't know enough about it. I don't even trade on my own account. In other words, all of my money is in Edward Jones, and I have Edward Jones typical 60-40. I have a 60-40 split, and they trade it, and it goes into their private thing. I mean, it's all rigged to make the money, but I make money, so I'm happy with it. Trudeau's wife dumped him. He has lots of money from my taxes. There you go. What is the tax rate, Chippy, in Canada? I mean, are you up there in the 20+% range? Hector Gupita says, American Lewis Wayne Douglas found dead in Dumageddon. That's a shame. Wow. It doesn't ring a bell with me. Was he a blogger, or was he just one of these guys that was there? I mean, 74 is no spring chicken. That's for sure. It's something we all have to know is going to happen. Did it say, Hector, if there was anything outrageous about it, or had he been, any gossip about that? I don't know. I'll have to take a look once I get done with the live stream. All right. I am going to end this live stream, in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because I've got some stuff I want to take care of, prior to the Ugly Tourist live stream. I want to try and go to his live stream to show my support and to rub in Joe Go Wonder on him. So 30% of my salary, like a dagger, every 2 weeks. Yeah. Wow. James says 10 years between me and my wife. I don't consider that age gap. I don't either. Not a vlogger. News report footage and Facebook says he passed at Ho. I guess he passed at home. Hiya, Hector. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I don't really age gap relationships. I mean, there was 16 years or 15 years. Yeah, 15 years between ex-wife number 2 and I. And uh my I have some family members that have 30 plus year age gap relationships, and they're not Asian American or anything like that. They're just age gap relationship. And I don't know whether that matters. I mean, Arlen and I have a large age gap, and yet I don't think it matters. I don't think we have a hard time with it. I don't consider it a bad thing. I know a lot of people talk about it, and a lot of people say, what do they have in common and everything else. But who cares? I'm happy. She's happy. Who cares? What's it matter? Not that much as far as I'm concerned. So McLovin must be out driving around. Oh, no, McLovin's watching the ball game. That's right. So Rick's out running errands. But I thought I would do this live just because I had just finished doing a video and uploading it and getting it set. So that video on how, if you're lazy, retiring in Asia, it will be a nightmare. I hope that helps some people. I hope people can actually look in the mirror and honestly, because maybe lazy is the wrong word, because it's something that might mean something negative. I don't look at lazy as being a negative. I just look at it as being a way that it is. Vlogging Live says, I have no issues being with the young Filipina. Good. Yeah. And you guys have a great relationship. And you guys, exactly. McLovin at the casino having dinner. Jesus, McLovin. I mean, you're going to rub it in. Don't tell me this casino has crab legs and everything else that goes along with it. I mean, I don't know. You know what? Come to think about it, I went to a casino in Chicago once, but it wasn't in Chicago. It was like an hour's drive outside of Chicago. I want to say it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was actually a boat, or it's somehow attached to the land and the water. But that was like 25, 30 years ago. I imagine you guys have got real casinos, or land-based casinos nowadays. Chippy says, definitely right. Not lazy, but structured life, routine. Yeah, you've got to have something. You've got to have something. You can't be lazy. You will never, if you're lazy, you will never adapt to the Philippines or any Southeast Asian country, because life here as an expat, tourist, whatever, it requires certain things of you. And those things take time. And if you're lazy, you're just the way it is. He says, that's the only reason I go to a casino is dinner. There you go. I can remember when casino dinners were cheap. I can remember when the high-end buffet at the Paris Hotel in Vegas was like $29. All right. The last time I took my daughter and Arlene to Vegas, we were in Vegas and we went to Caesar's Palace to the Bacchanal buffet. And that was I want to say it was 105 or 110 per person. It certainly hasn't gotten any cheaper. James says, going to walk the dogs. It quit raining. Have a great day. Take care, James. Blue Chip Horseshoe. Okay. McLovin says, it's a comp. I'm at the Rivers Casino by O'Hare. So then the Rivers Casino isn't on a river. I don't remember a river. I don't remember. You know what? I don't know O'Hare that well. I mean, I've flown in and out of it on multiple occasions, but I never really paid attention. So I can't give you an answer. I can't give you an opinion. I don't know. I've flown in and out of O'Hare. I used to have to go to Chicago every year. I went to Chicago the Saturday after Thanksgiving to the next Friday. All right, there for a week. Every year for 23 years, because there was a medical convention conference that was there every year. And used to do it over at, what do they call the convention center there? It's this monstrously huge place. It's got like 3 buildings at least now. I can't remember the name of it. Jeez. McLevin says it's a comp. Yeah, we're not big ballers like you guys, although we did get comps in Vegas. McLevin says, remember the $3.99 4 a.m. prime rib on the old strip? Yeah. Remember the Golden Nugget down, the Golden Nugget over on Fremont? $3.99 prime rib and crab legs. Prime rib and crab legs. But my God, that had to have been like 30 years ago. Oh, he says, I think you might have been on the Horseshoe Casino. It's possible. I know I've been to one, and it was like 30 years ago. So I just don't. Chippy says, I love drinking at Chili's in O'Hare. Good times. I can't imagine any good time in O'Hare. It is not on my top list of airports to spend time in. Well, but again, you know what, Chippy? I haven't been to O'Hare in probably, been here 15 years. So I'm sure it's improved. And the Lady Luck. Okay, that name is definitely, I believe every state that has casinos has at least one Lady Luck casino. That's a pretty common term, I would think. That's funny. So you're going to have dinner. You're having dinner at the casino. And then what are you doing after that, McLovin? You going home after that, or you going out? What's on your schedule? I don't know what I'm doing this morning. I know I'm not going anywhere. It's raining, so Arlene's going to she's going to have to cook breakfast. Poor thing. I don't know. We could go to the rooftop for breakfast, or actually to the restaurant downstairs if we wanted to. But if I know Arlene, Arlene's going to be like, no, I've got eggs, I've got toast, I've got this. We don't need to spend that money. So skip it all. Never been to Vegas. Used to be a bucket list thing. I don't think so anymore. I tell you, it's gotten so expensive in Vegas now. Skip it all. I mean, It's gotten so bad and tourism is down so far. I saw a news article a week or two ago that they're having a big promotion in Vegas now where everything, all these hotels have gotten together. They're doing discounts. The city is not charging the tourist fee that it charges, because like if you go to Bally's or to Caesars or MGM, all right, that's a $30 a day tourist fee in most instances. Chippy says O'Hare might be worse now. Geez. I can't even imagine what it would have been. Early 90s, we would leave work on Friday, go to the airport, hop a flight to Vegas, catch the red eye back. Yeah, McLovin, we used to do that all the time. In the 90s and in the 2000s, we used to, there were between 11 and 13 flights a day on Southwest Airlines to Vegas. 40-minute flight. I mean, you go up, you go down. You spend more time on short final than you do flying. All right. And they were $49. We used to, I would call ex-wife number 2 and I'd say, you know what? I've had a crappy day. Pack me a weekend bag, meet me at the airport, call Southwest, book us on the 6 o'clock flight. Sometimes we'd make it there early enough for the 5 o'clock flight. And then we'd have a limo service pick us up from the hotel. We always, I learned how to play craps at Bally's. And it's not a fancy hotel. It's not a great hotel. It's big. It's nice, but it's nothing, like the Venetian or the Cosmo or Caesars. All right. But that's where I learned how to play craps. And that's where I enjoyed playing craps. And I was rated well there. I had a very high rating and they would send a limo, because it's just like a 15-minute drive, and pick us up at the airport, comp us a room, and we enjoyed it. Trust me, I never really boiled it down and categorized it. I know one year I tried to keep good track, and I ended up making more than I gambled. I didn't lose money, but I think overall, over 20 years of visiting Vegas on weekends and stuff like that, I'm sure Vegas got a good chunk of my money. He says it's been since 2002 last time I was in O'Hare. Yeah, I can't remember what year was the last time. No, I can't remember. Skip it all. Does that include cleaning all the poo on the streets and removing the homeless people you have to walk over? Is it that good of a Vegas promo? I don't know. I mean, is Vegas a promo? That might be the real, I think one of the things that's ruined Vegas, when Vegas hosted the F1 race, the F1 Formula One race, they screwed up the city. They really did. In addition, the day fee that they're charging at the hotels and resorts there now is absolutely crazy. I mean, and you don't have a choice. You have to pay it, and you don't get Wi-Fi unless you do pay it. And you can't, they say, well, that's for your Wi-Fi and this and that. And it's like, well, then I don't do it. I'll live on data. And they're like, no, you got to pay it no matter what. So, I mean, I think that's kind of a bullshit thing. Now, what I would like to do at some point, one of these days, I would love to go to Vegas and stay at the Fontainebleau. I've stayed at the Fontainebleau on a few occasions in Miami. It is a remarkable hotel, remarkable. And I imagine the one in Vegas is remarkable as well. So we'll see. I don't know. You know what? I'm not even sure they finished the Fontainebleau, to be honest with you. I know that during pandemic, when it all got shut down, the Fontainebleau was being erected, and there was talks even then that they were going to pull out. So I wonder if they ever finished it. But the Vegas is home of, to me, the best, greatest, most incredible steakhouse I've ever eaten at. And that's, believe it or not, it's called the Golden Steer. All right. It's in a strip center right there in a very gnarly neighborhood. But it is outrageously expensive. But the food is incredible. Absolutely incredible. That's all I could say. Now, if you had to ask my daughter the best steak in Vegas, all right, my daughter will tell you that the best prime rib in Vegas is at the restaurant at Ellis Island. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, Ellis Island is this crappy little dink piece of crap casino hotel behind Bally's on the next street over. All right. And it is just, but that's the first place my daughter ever ate prime rib when she was a little kid. And she still thinks that's the best prime rib she's ever eaten. Chippy says, I stay at the Sogo on Burgess, probably similar. I don't know. The Sogo on Burgess Street, that's over. I'm not sure where that's at. Is that over there by the Red Planet? Mike and Arlen, long time. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Donnie B, thanks for dropping in. We certainly appreciate it. We're doing great. Hope you are as well. Heath says, I stayed at the Lexar when I went to Vegas, but I was there in high school for a volleyball tournaments. Yeah, we've stayed. So a buddy of mine in a inebriated state convinced another buddy of mine to get married in Vegas. Now, literally, we were at his house. It was like 10 o'clock at night. They'd been drinking by the pool all day. Their wives and future wives had been drinking by the pool all day. This was in Phoenix. All right. And they said, sure, yeah, of course, whatever, bullshit. The next thing I know, this huge stretch limo, probably the biggest stretch limo, a big stretch Hummer limo, pulls up and says, everybody grab a bag, go home, grab a bag, we're going to Vegas. And by God, we all met back 2 hours later at Ron's house, hopped in, and he booked, I think it was 7 or 8 rooms at the Luxor. And that's where we all stayed. And we probably would have, this guy is very well off. All right. Probably on short notice. That was the only place we could get that book of rooms at the same time without going up into suites. And so we went to the Luxor. Keith says, I stayed in the Luxor. Oh, yeah, got it. Mike, Sogo is short time place, just pulling your chain. Oh, yeah, Sogo is a chain. It means so good or something like that here. I didn't know there. I'm familiar. There's a Red Planet on Borgus. There's a Best Western on Borgus, but I wasn't familiar with a Sogo. But all right, folks, it's been an hour. The Ugly Tourist is going to be on in another hour. So I've got a couple things I need to take care of here prior to his live, or trying to get done before his live so that I can go in his live and show our support for his channel. Maybe help his feelings are hurt a little bit that Jogo Wonder is getting better channel views than he is. It all comes and goes, you know. It's not that big a deal. But thanks so much, folks, for dropping in. We certainly appreciate it. I might do these again when I'm bored early in the morning. So thank you. Have a great day. Be safe. And McLovin, how about leave a little bit in the buffet for the other people, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.